Welcome in this video. When is Swftcoin bullish? We will analyze it. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and please watch to the end to understand. The flag formation that I showed you in detail in the previous video is still valid and continues to clearly exist on the chart. Since then, we've observed that the price movements have continued to move within the boundaries of this formation. Currently, the price has made a significant touch toward the upper band of this formation. This touch is critically important because, in technical analysis, such touches to the upper line of a flag formation can often be the beginning of major moves. If the price manages to break this upper trend line to the upside, it will lay the groundwork for a strong uptrend in the current market structure. Flag formations are typically seen as a brief consolidation or sideways tight movement following a strong upward move. Therefore, an upward breakout from such a formation is a clear sign that buyers are regaining strength. At this point, it's not just about a quick wick above the line. The breakout must be supported by volume, and the price should close several candles above this upper trend line. In other words, the price needs to hold above this level in a sustainable way. Otherwise, there is a risk of a false breakout, which could produce misleading signals for investors. That's why it's important not to focus solely on instant movements, but to monitor whether the breakout gains strength and stability. If the price breaks this upper line clearly and settles above it, the technical target of the flag formation typically implies a new upward move equal to the length of the previous rally before the formation. So, from a technical standpoint, if this formation breaks upward, it's highly likely that we could see a repeat of the previous strong rally. Moreover, any increase in volume during this process would help support the strength and health of the upward move. If the price breaks out as expected and firmly settles above, the first target to the upside would be a move equal to the height of the flagpole. Then, depending on general market conditions, news flow, and macro factors, much higher targets could also come into play. The current price level is, in this sense, a critical threshold. The price action that occurs here could determine the direction of the short and medium-term trend. Especially when looking at other indicators like the RSI, we can see signs of recovery from oversold regions and momentum trying to turn upward again. In addition, the MACD indicator is also starting to show early signs of an upward reversal. When all these technical indicators are evaluated together, if the price makes a strong breakout above the upper band, there will be a powerful bullish potential supported not only by the technical formation, but also by momentum indicators. For this reason, investors and traders need to closely monitor how the price reacts to the upper band of the flag formation right now. Because the movement here may not just be a short-term fluctuation. It also has the potential to generate a strong signal that could determine the price direction in the medium to long term. So rather than making rushed decisions, the healthiest approach is to patiently observe how the price behaves in this area and to watch the candle closes that follow the breakout. In short, the flag formation that has developed on the chart is currently at a very critical point. How the price reacts to the upper line of the formation will be highly decisive both technically and in terms of market psychology. If the strong breakout we expect occurs, it's likely that the price will first reach the formation target and then continue rising toward higher levels. But we shouldn't look only at formations. We also need to pay attention to other metrics. Stay tuned. When we look at the chart more carefully and in greater depth, we can clearly see that the price movements are following a specific structure within the framework of the Elliott wave theory. Especially when we analyze the current price action, there are strong indications that the first and second waves have already been completed. The first wave emerged as the beginning of a new uptrend in the market and was completed with a healthy impulsive move. The following second wave appeared as a corrective move, which developed in line with the classical rules of the theory. During the second wave, the price gave back a portion of the previous gains, but this pullback can be considered a healthy correction. According to Elliott theory, second waves never fall below the starting point of the first wave. They simply correct within certain proportions, setting the stage for a new impulsive wave. Currently, there are many technical signals indicating that the price structure is transitioning into the third wave. According to Elliott theory, the third wave is typically the longest and most powerful wave. This wave represents a period when investor confidence increases, buyers take control, and significant volume enters the market. Therefore, during the third wave, prices tend to rise more rapidly and strongly. In technical analysis, the minimum target of the third wave is generally determined by Fibonacci extension levels, which provide us with a clear target range. Specifically, the third wave is usually expected to reach the 1/618 Fibonacci extension level. In more optimistic scenarios, This extension can even reach the 272 level. Looking at the current price position and momentum, it's easy to say that the expectation for a third wave is quite strong. If the price has indeed completed the second wave in a healthy manner, it is likely that much larger price movements will occur with the rise of the third wave. Fibonacci extension levels, such as 1,618 and 2,272, generally act as key resistance zones. However, due to the nature of third waves, these levels may only be temporary stops, and with strong volume support, the price could move well beyond even these levels. In addition, at the beginning of the third wave, there is often a noticeable positive sentiment across the market. As investors realize that the previous correction has ended and a new uptrend has begun, they tend to increase their buying activity. This creates substantial demand-side pressure, causing prices to climb even faster. The hallmark of the third wave is the market gaining momentum and prices breaking through resistance levels one after another. In the current outlook, price action and technical indicators suggest that such a strong move may be imminent. The price reaching the 1,618 and 2,272 Fibonacci targets is not only technically possible, but also historically consistent with the behavior of Elliott waves. That said, it's also important to remember that third waves can sometimes extend much further, especially in cases involving macroeconomic developments, positive news flow, or major exchange listings. There are many examples on charts where third waves have gone well beyond traditional targets. If convincing signs have started to emerge that the price has fully completed the second wave, then, with the activation of the third wave, an aggressive upward move in prices becomes a highly probable scenario. For this reason, it is important for investors to act carefully and strategically during this process, and to make the most of potential opportunities. However, it should always be kept in mind that, like all forms of technical analysis, Elliott wave analysis does not offer guarantees, and risk management must always be taken into account. Markets can sometimes behave unpredictably, and proper planning is the most important tool to protect investors in such situations. In conclusion, according to the Elliott wave theory, the price has successfully formed the first and second waves, and there are strong signals indicating that we are now at the beginning of the third wave. Technically, the targets appear as the 1,618 and 2,272 Fibonacci extensions. The price reaching these levels is not just a theoretical expectation, but a highly likely scenario when current market dynamics are considered. Also, with strong momentum, the price could rise even higher. When we take a closer look at the Bollinger Bands indicator, we can clearly see that the price has significantly compressed between the bands. This compression is generally considered a signal of a very critical phase in technical analysis. The core idea behind Bollinger Bands is to measure volatility, and periods when the bands become this narrow are early indicators that the market may soon make a strong move. Right now, we observe that the distance between the bands has narrowed considerably and the price is moving within this tight range. This suggests that market participants are indecisive and that the balance between buyers and sellers has not yet broken clearly in either direction. Typically, after this kind of compression in the Bollinger Bands, volatility suddenly increases, and the price makes a sharp move either to the upside or downside. Looking at the current technical setup, we can see that the price has been under pressure for some time and is in a phase of building up energy. This gives us strong clues that an explosive move is near. Which direction the price will break out of this tight range will be clarified by the breakout of support or resistance levels. The current technical outlook shows that the small reactions toward the upper band have been gaining strength, suggesting a reasonably strong possibility of an upward breakout. Additionally, when we look at past price movements during periods of extremely narrow bands, we often see that such compressions set the stage for large and rapid price changes. Especially breakouts in the direction of the prevailing trend tend to produce more stable and lasting movements. Yes, friends, I hope you liked the video. If you subscribe to my channel and like the video, more videos will be coming. Be careful in your investments, analyze the risks correctly, and always take strategic steps. I will be with you with different analyses, investment opportunities, and technical information in my videos. I wish you all a lot of profit. See you soon.